Okay, welcome to our weekly office learning. This is Lkovod YITZCHAK Kislev, and Lkovod on the Shamas, but YITZCHAK Kislev is a tremendous awe that comes down Erev Chanukah every year with the Balatanya and the Derech of Chassidus, the Magid Mezutz Yotzai, Chusyagan Aleinu. I lit a candle ready at home because I knew I'm going to be out till late. So everyone should light a candle tonight and do some learning of Chassidut. And we're going to hopefully start off with halacha. Min Hashemayim, Rav Shlomo Katz was talking about the importance of learning halacha to connect into the Or of Chanukah. It was based on a Torah from Rabbi Nachman. It's Ben Olam Haba is learning halachas, and the whole union of Olam Haba is to do with the Koras Tov and thanking Hashem, which is a big avoda we're going to learn in the halacha of Chanukah, of Hallel, and the whole voda of the half an hour. We do half an hour of learning every week, so that's Min Hashemayim connects into the half an hour. You should sit by your Chanukah licht on every night of Chanukah, so tune into the light, the awe. So you should always bring that throughout the year, that half an hour. We bring into the half an hour of Torah, the please God, the Orosh HaMashiach, the Oroganas that's in the nearest Chanukah is also in the learning we're doing, and that we bring the whole year round into the office and bring light to our soul, and then bring that home. Amen. Lchaim. Amen. Amen. Yisrael. We're in a frat, Baruch Hashem. So here we are. So we are going through slowly when we've got to speed up because next week's already Hanukkah. And the last halakha we learned that for Kol Zman's mitzvoson, the entire time that the Hanukkah light is being fulfilled through the lights of menorah. Danu chetzi shah. Here we go. The half an hour, just I mentioned. Would you believe it? Half an hour. We need this half an hour of learning. Half an hour of sitting by the licht, by the candles, the menorah. Asa lahenes ma'oron. It's forbidden to benefit from their light. Lchaim, noagin. Yeah, and that's the minhag. So what's the minhag? Laniach etzlan. It's customary to place next to the Hanukkah licht. It's a shamish like boy. So the eitzah is that you don't come to nena, like benefit from the light of the Chanukiah other than the Ruchnius light. You don't actually like read from it or count your money or your big paychecks. You don't sit there counting it in front of the Hanukkah light. I don't know if people do that anymore, but the idea of using the light of the Chanukiah is not beseder. You're not allowed apelacha, but the minhag is to put a shamish. That solves the problem, because once you have this extra candle, which is always raised up a little bit, so it's distinct from the other candles, and we also use it with shamish to light the other candles. Now I have a shamish to the shamish. We mentioned this already. There's someone that's a candle that's lighting all the licht and the shamish. So it's a second candle on top of the gabbai. It's like gabbai sheni kind of thing. You have gabbai rishon and lights that you light at the same time you're lighting the candles. First you light the candles, the mitzvah, and then you light the gabbai rishon, which is the shamish. And then you light, what are you lighting this all with? You're lighting this with the Gabbai Sheni, with the second Shamish. So you really have two. And there's an Indian by Gabbai Rishon, Gabbai Sheni. It says by Kabbalas Torah, there was Moshe and Aaron. So every time we read Kriyas Torah, there's an Indian to have a Gabbai stand on one side and the other Gabbai stand on the other side. So it's like Moshe and Aaron at Kabbalas Torah. They're like standing either side of the Torah. So too the Shamshim are Moshe and Aaron. They're Mishamish, the light of the Chanukiah. There's very deep Torahs about what the Shamish. Shamish is not whatever. We mentioned last time about Mesiras Nefesh. Anyway, let's go ahead. Kadesh im ishtamish, and if you was to use the light of menorah, yishtamish l'ora shemesh. You see, now you're using the light of the gabbai. You're not using the light of the candles. You're not nena from the candles of the menorah. You're using the gabbai's light, the shamesh light. The suika laniko katzat malala minaneris. And we just said before that one must position the shamish slightly higher than the other candle. Shehi nika she'enu mamina neris. So it's recognizable. It's not going to be numbered amongst the neris of the Chanukiah. Yeah. So the first night you've got one. You lit one candle and you put one shamish. You light one shamish. And as I said, I have a second shamish. But sometimes some people put it out. I actually put it next to the menorah as well, like below it. So it's usually quite a long, thin wax candle, and I put it next to it. So I have the shamish lit as well as the mitzvah candle, and I have another candle that I lit everything with. And it's just it adds the energy. My Rebbe does that, and I've seen by Chassidus Tzaddikim they do such thing. Madlik neris for basic knesset. We light the Chanukiah in the synagogue, Mishum Pasumi Nisa. So that's another thing. In Shirat David and other places, they should have a gabbai, a real gabbai, actually come and light the menorah in every night and make a bracha. And some shuls they sing Neris Hallelujah and Ma'otzor. It's very nice, and you should do that as a community as well. It's a very nice thing to do that as a community and experience the Pasumi Nisa, the publicization of the miracle. So Chabad are obviously big experts in this. And in a minute, we're going to read a book from an author. His name's Rav Dr. Yosef Bronstein. He's actually flown out to America for YITZCHAK Kislev to speak about this Nakuda. He told me before he left, Ibn Shemaim also, that I'm mentioning him and I'm going to use as the cover photo as well, is the idea that the concept of lighting the menorah is something, a public mitzvah. You should publicize the miracle, that the Chabad have become very strong. So Rav Yosef Bronstein is going to go to America and talk about the halakhic element of this, which we're learning about now, and the pneumius element of it. And he put out a book on the Rebbe called Engaging the Essence, the Torah philosophy of the Lubavitcher Rebbe, and it's an excellent book. We're actually going to read something from it in a minute when we do the Chassidus section, because we're learning Niglas Torah and Nislas Torah. We're learning, that's just Shnei Or of Shnei Zalman. Shnei Or is Shnei Zalman, two lights, the hidden and the revealed Torah, the revealed and the hidden. He was an expert in halacha, he was the Rav of the Chassidim, and he was also an expert in Kabbalah, Pneumius, and we get the best of everything, Bez Hashem. And that's how we structured this learning every week for half an hour as well, in that vein. Yeah, the way that they light it in the Beis Knesset, on the southern wall. Southern is always connected to Durham, to Ruchnius. It's a Ruchnius focus. That's one of the reasons we know that. It's because the menorah is always on the southern side of the Mishkan, or the Beis Hamikdash. So the Durham is always connected to the more Ruchnius focus. So if you daven a little bit directed towards the southern side, you're davening more for Ruchnius. If you daven towards the north, you're davening more for Ashuras, for wealth. And so we put the menorah, and it will be in the north. That would be the Lchaim. Upon him, that's more connected to Purim. Purim is the Shulchan, and Chanukah is the menorah. They're both Meramis in the Beis Hamikdash, and they're both hinted to in Parshas Emor. After we have all the Chagim, then it brings two other mitzvahs of the Mishkan. It brings the Lechem upon him, which is, as I said, Purim, and the menorah first, which is Chanukah, and then Lechem upon him, the Shulchan. Okay, weiter. Madlikim bein the Mincha and the Marav, and it is lit between the Mincha and the Marav. Ein adam yotze b'neira shal beis haKnesset. A person does not fulfill his personal of the candles in the synagogue. So you're there between Mincha and Marav, you're davening, and they lit the candles, but you're not being Mekayim your hadlakas neiris of. So you have to make sure you have it all set up at home. That would be the best, ready to go when you get back, and you light it. And he must light the menorah again, where? In his house. This includes the chazan who actually recites a blessing and lit the menorah. So in our case, it's usually the gabbai in the synagogue. Regarding the chazan who recited the shechianu blessing in the synagogue on the first night Chanukah, Mishnah Berurah writes that he should repeat the blessing at home, only if he is reciting it for his wife or other members of the household. However, the Moshe Feinstein rules in the Geras Moshe and or Lchaim that one should repeat it at home even if he is the only person there. Yeah, so even at home, if you're by yourself, there's no Indian to be yotze anyone else, even then you should say it twice, once in the shul and once in the home. Two different mitzvahs. In the reverse situation where one first lit the menorah at home, you should not repeat all three blessings before lighting in the synagogue. So if you're the kind of guy who like to light early before mincha, and now you come to shul, you can't now say shechianu in the shul. So you should try not to do that scenario. It's better to first daven and then light, which is what I do. I not understand there's a whole Indian of lighting before the Zman of, it gets dark and everything, but I personally feel that the right way, my opinion, my neshama, relates to Mincha Marav. You daven Mincha Marav, so you hear the Hadlaka in the shul, and you only light after Marav. So you daven Marav, that's the mitzvah you do every day, you should do that first. And also, one of the Panei misunderstandings I've seen by Tzaddikim is that Marav is a chana for the mitzvah. It's a preparation. In the light of Marav, who was Masakim Marav? We learned already in Parshas Vayetze, it was Yaakov Avinu. Yaakov we see again and again, in many of the Parshas we see, he's constantly going after the Pachim Chatanim, he's constantly looking for that light, he's trying to bring in the night. And we see Yosef Asadik is like the flame that goes out from Yaakov. So now we're in the Parshas of Yosef Asadik, So we're seeing the flame that goes out from Yaakov. But Yaakov is the fire, and Yaakov is lighting up the night, and that's with Marev first. Marev is the chana, in the light, in the preparation you should have before lighting every night, you daven. And that's the mincha Marev, a bit of learning, and then you can go home and light with some awe from the avodah you did in tefillah. It's like Shabbos night, you daven first Kabbalah Shabbos and Marev, then you go home and bring that light into the Suda. You don't have a Suda and then go daven. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. And then you can be relaxed also. You've done the mitzvah Marev. You can sit there with the mitzvah. I understand people want to light outside and they want to do the halachic aspect of doing it before a certain time. There's man focus, but I prefer that once you've davened, now you can be 100% focused on being with your family, and only then do you have to go out later for any sudas or whatever, but you're not obligated to anything for a while, and so you can just be there and be present.
Very nice.
And that makes sense to me in a panemius way. Mishu ovo rachman hasamon is a monogof bed lo yadlik b'layla. Yeah, he does not light in the night. Why? Harishon beveis knesset. He should not light in the synagogue. When we light, he can light at home, but he can't light in the synagogue. Mishum sarach lo meshachyan, because he's not able to say shachyan the first night. Aval ein lo meshachyan b'sibo, and a mourner should not recite shachyan in public, because that's a simchadika thing, and he's in novelas. But in his house, he can do it privately. He can say shachyan. Noshim chayavis b'nei Chanukah. Women are included in the obligation of Chanukah lights. Shaf hein hayu ba'osa nes. There's a famous plow that's brought down in Shas. Tosas brings it that women were involved in the miracle of Chanukah. Yeah, an important concept that we have throughout halacha when it comes to the Yom Tovim, like Purim as well. Women were involved in the miracle. Yeah, it was Esther Malka by Purim. By Chanukah, we all know it was Yehudis. Yeah, she went and shechted the melech. That's one of the reasons why we have Chalavi. We mentioned this already, learned this. Yeah, Noshim Chayvis B'nei Chanukah. Women, they have the chiyuv as well, because they were also involved in the miracle. Ayin le'il b'sif gimel, yochel isha hadlik ba'ad kombinei peis. So they, as I said, Yehuda, she went and, we learned this a while back, she took the prince or the king, or I think it was the general actually, high up general of the army, and she went and got him tired through feeding him meal kicks and giving him wine and all kinds of stuff until he passed out. Then she chopped off his head, because he wanted to just sleep with her. He chopped off his head, took it back to the people and put it on a post. Put it on a post, and then that scared off the enemies, the Yevanim of that time. That was a big part of the victory, because we just killed their head guy, yeah? Literally their head guy, yeah?
Special forces level right there.
So, it's like taking the guy of Iran and like seducing him and putting him to sleep, chopping his head off, coming back to Israel and putting it on the border there. And that would be the end of the Iranian terror. This kind of thing women did throughout history. They're Tzidkonius. They saved us.
Level before the Mossad.
Yeah, women are big part of our Geula. They have Tzidkonius, the righteous women. Isha alik nad kol b'nei beisa. Women may light on behalf of all the housewomen. Now you see nowadays, I know it's coming from a little bit of the woke influence, but let's try and mala it. Before Mashiach comes, there's a concept of Isha Sova Geva. The women's going to surround the men. So before Mashiach comes, you see women are getting stronger and stronger in everything. In business, in all the movies, they're like the heroine now, the hero. Like everything, like seeing more and more this strong women. Like in the Jewish world, you see these strong women going out there fighting for the truth. This is the reality like we're in now. So we have to like respect.
This was a prophecy?
Yeah, I mean it's the concept, because the idea is that the moon is going to shine as bright as the sun ultimately. It's going to have share the same crown. They're going to have two crowns. So the man represents the sun, the woman represents the moon. So ultimately the moon's also going to shine bright. It's not going to have this fade and the whole moon cycle. It's going to just shine constantly. And that's the Lasalava, all the Chitzonius forces that make the women into the Nisoyan, a test for men, like we see in this week's Parsha, V'yesha, Yosef, and Ish's Potiphar. That whole force is going to be elevated into Kedusha, back to its root. And all the energy is going to become Kedusha, and it's going to see the Kol Chosam, the Kol Kala. We're going to hear the voice of the Kala. It won't be Asa to hear Kol Isha. It's going to be something we'll be allowed to hear again when Mashiach comes.
It's not the end of this year, though.
But that's not the point here. It's all a part of the process of history. The women brought miracles for Am Yisrael. A minor is beside the age of which he has to be educated in mitzvah gam kein chayiv. Suma im yochel ishtativ im acher puta. So a blind person should give a coin to someone, should make a partnership through a small coin. Mutav is better than lighting himself, because he can't see it, I suppose. Im yesh lo isha, if he has a blind person has a wife, she should light for him. Im ein lo isha yesh lo dira miyuchedes, if he does have one, he's living on his own quarters, she'ein lo b'mei lishtata, and he has no one he can partner with, madlik oyidei sio acher. He should like the assistance of another person. So married women do not like the menorah. Why? Because they include in their husbands a famous concept in halacha called ishto kagufo. Women are like their husband's body. They're like one body. Yeah? Basa echad. Ishto kagufo. The women's like his body. So him doing the mitzvah is like her doing the mitzvah. It's a deep cloud, shalom bias. Really we're one. We're one goof. Ishto kagufo. So that's the concept that they don't have to like.
Not for everyone, but for some people, the shalom bias sometimes can get challenging.
Yeah.
But like if you're one unit, it's kind of another contradictory, but it goes against kind of.
Yeah, I mean, look, we have our own inner battles all the time, so all the more so with another person, yeah?
Right.
So it's a challenge, but the reality is, the halacha is that you can be yoked to your wife 100%. And that's important to know that. You can yoke to the mitzvah. You can do the mitzvah adlakas neres for her, even though she's chayev, because she's part of the miracle of Hanukkah. But you lighting the menorah means she doesn't have to anymore. So you're yoked to her, and she's now pata from the mitzvah because she's makayim the mitzvah through you. She's not just pata; she's makayim the mitzvah through you. You are doing the mitzvah together with her every time you light every night. And I always say, look at my wife, and sometimes my daughter. One of my daughters likes to light. My other daughter, I always look at them, my son's all like. So I look at her and I have in my mind that, I'm doing this for you, we're together. We said we're also obligated. Rituals that unmarried girls are not required to light if they are living at home with their family, but if they are living away from home, they are obligated. So as I said, my daughter, one of them likes to light, the other one I have in mind. Who discards the practice of a wife performing this miracle mitzvah for her husband? I hope my oldest daughter will get married, please God, and she'll have a husband doing it for her. However, it's not required to light more than one candle each night. Additionally, one should not have minor exempt an adult with his lighting. So don't have your child light for you. You light. By receiving a pruta, the smallest denomination of money, valid significant to effect an acquisition, that's the blind person. He's giving a coin to the person to help him with the mitzvah. The owner in turn transfers partial ownership of the oil, or turn to the most holy transfer a share in the oil to him as a gift, usually a halakhic valid method of acquisition. The best should not be recited. A deaf person who can speak is obligated to light and recite the blessings. So the main point is seeing, riyah. It's a mitzvah you get to see. So you see a blind person can't in the best way do it, but a deaf person can, because they see it. It's about seeing the mitzvah, it's not hearing. It's not a mitzvah you need to hear. Erev Shabbos Madlikin Tchila Ner Chanukah. On Erev Shabbos, so this is coming up, the Chanukah next week, the Hanukkah lights are kindled first, Achakach Ner Shabbos, and then the Shabbos lights. But in the Chassidus, there's a concept of madregas. So we all know Shabbos is the highest madrega. Yes, Olam HaPnimi. It's the highest levels, Me'an Olam Haba. And we're bringing down one of the highest lights. So whereas Hanukkah, even though it's a huge madrega in the light of Hanukkah, and we all turn into little mini Kohen Gadol's and everything else, we're going to learn all the Pnimius of Torah about it. But at the end of the day, it still doesn't have an Issa Malacha like Shabbos. It doesn't have the impact the way Shabbos does on creation every week. So Shabbos is higher. And the Mor Shemesh explains that we go up in levels. So we first light the menorah, and then we go light the Shabbos candles. And it's the same the other way around. We first make Havdalah, and then we light the Hanukkah candles. So it's going up and coming down. Yeah, going up from Hanukkah to Shabbos, and coming down from Shabbos to Hanukkah. That's a good way of remembering it.
Say it one more time.
You're going up from Hanukkah to Shabbos, lighting the Hanukkah candles, and then to Shabbos candles. And then when you come out of Shabbos, you're coming down through davening Marev, and then and making Havdalah, and then Hadlakas Neus Hanukkah. Okay, that's the halacha, and that's what Pnimius Svarim talk about as well. A good point to realize when you're learning Pnimius Svarim that they're not any contradiction generally with halacha. They in fact enhance the halacha. That's how I like to learn. Halacha is to enhance with Pnimius, not to be a contradiction.
Right.
Everything should connect, if you can. Obviously, there are some steerers, but hopefully we're not dealing with that generally. As long as one kindles a candle like Hanukkah after plugging mincha, recite the mincha prayer before lighting menorah. That's what we said. So that's how I do in a Erev Shabbos. Now look, I personally don't always manage to get to the early mincha, so I end up davening after lighting the menorah, which is probably once again. I usually daven mincha at shul, when everyone else comes for Kabbalah Shabbos, even on Erev Shabbos Hanukkah. It's just where I'm at. Now, would it be better to daven at earlier mincha? Probably, but it's just not probably going to happen. Sarach sheitein shemen kadesha. Yeah, one must put oil. Usually, I end up davening a bit late because of it. So it's a problem, but we'll try. We'll make efforts to try to be there.
Does anybody need an extra menorah, by the way? An extra menorah, put it out there.
Oh, cool. My son brought one home from his work. It's a really nice one, a glass one.
Yeah, I know. Thank you for thinking of us.
Yeah. So remember, the big avoda is, we learn about this, that the half an hour has to continue till after the stars go out. Yeah, you have to make sure that the candle's still lit. So put enough oil in that it burns through, has the potential to burn all the way from the time of lighting it. Let's take an hour before shkia, or half an hour before shkia. Make sure it burns long enough till after Seis Chochavim, which is like usually. Is it 20 minutes after shkia? Something like that. Yeah, be'erich. There's different levels of what Seis Chochavim is, but we're Rebbe in town, but we'll go for regular Seis Chochavim. Im lo Lchaim havelei Bracha levatala. He is not fulfilled his obligation if it doesn't have that power to be lit more than half an hour. If he lit into the doorway, he must take place something as a partition between the candle and the door. So he has to be careful that the wind shouldn't blow it out. We already discussed it somewhat. Yeah. Okay, I think we're good. I think that's where we're going to start on the halacha. We haven't got the Chassidus yet. There is a lot of perishim underneath. Yeah, what do you want to say?
30 people away from 3,000 people in
Are you serious?
Wow, we've almost got 1,000 followers on LinkedIn.
I'm going to put those in tonight using Ellie's leads.
Most of Eilech, things are growing.
Just for giggles.
Wow.
Everything's growing. Baruch Hashem. And remember, Chanukah comes down, a big sefer. Itamar said, said to me, before Hanukkah, you're going to have a lot of this, blockages and nisyonis generally, like lo aleinu, but that's the reality before the big shefa comes. So we have to sort of hang in.
We gotta
hang in, but the shefa's coming. The
I
aura.
really believe that's coming.
In all ways, ruchnias gashmis.
Amen.
And it's only soon. Tonight is already the big opening of the lights of above. YITZCHAK Kislev. So let's just finish off with some Chassidus. The Keres Abayis, the creation of Dira Petachtonim, says the Heilige Lubavitcher Rebbe, the holy Lubavitcher Rebbe Zichronenu. Yeah, he was a great grandson of the Balatani, who the whole Balamaisa from YITZCHAK Kislev is about. He furthermore, this line of reason, Rebbe often spoke of a unique role. This is Rav Bronstein's explanation of the Keres Abayis in the mission of creating a Dira Petachtonim. Dira Petachtonim means a dwelling place below, revealing the entire world as a home for the divine essence. We're here to make this world, a home for Hashem's divine essence. Begins with the creation of microcosm Dira Petachtonim. This is the concept in Chabad Chassidus, Dira Petachtonim. Opening a Dira, buying a Dira, building a Dira, making a home, an apartment for Hashem, a dwelling for Hashem in the base of Mikdash, in everything you do in this world, in the office. This is a perfect Torah for the office. You want to bring the Shekhinah and divine essence into the office also, in the form of a Jewish home for the labor of each individual Keres Abayis. The Rebbe articulates connection between every Jewish home and the global Dira Tachtonim. Look, just by us lighting up our menorahs publicly and bringing that light into our homes as well, with the menorahs in the home, we're bringing the Kohen Gadol's ore, the base of Mikdash ore into the world, into our homes. Everyone else becomes a mini Kohen Gadol. The mission shlichus of every Jew is included in the command, you should make for me a sanctuary. That's what we're doing. We're making Hashem a sanctuary in this world. In the house of each and every Jew should be a temple for the Holy One, blessed be, house of prayer, acts of kindness. From the sanctuary of private homes, the sanctuary will spread to the entire world. Such the entire world will be made into a temple for Hashem, a dir tachtonim. This mission takes on added significance of Jewish women, since each one is a keres abayis, the ikr of the home. She's the main thing of the home, is the woman, the wife. Absolutely. Meaning that this happenings of the home are dependent on her, including especially the behaviors of her children and husband. The main responsibility of the mission to create a basic image of the Holy One falls upon the keres abayis. So we see, not only did the Min Hashemayim, the halakha connected up with that beautiful Torah from the Rebbe, but the idea that the whole nace, the miracle of Hanukkah and Purim went through the women. Even Mitzrayim, who was the main miracle went through? When we went out of Mitzrayim, it was Miriam Yocheved. If they hadn't saved Moshe Rabbeinu, we wouldn't have had a Goal. We'd be stuck in Mitzrayim. We'd be Genig Shoin. The only reason we're going out of Golis is in the merit of the righteous women who save and Moser Nefesh and build. And that's the same ore that builds the Dira, the home, so that Hashem Shekhinah can come.
Lchaim.
And that's a big koyach for us to appreciate them more, and then through that we have more shalom bayis.
Midnight Rabbi strikes again.
Okay, Gavaldik. Now let's just see one more thing. Parshas Baloscha. It says in Parshas Baloscha, I'm doing these Zera Shimshon every day. I've been uploading hundreds of shiurim for the website, the audio, and still no raise. But anyway, the raises and ruchnias. So, Baruch Hashem, and we got the shir tonight as well. And the idea of Baloscha and all the classes we put up every week and all the other stuff I do for them, running the WhatsApp, everything else, Baruch Hashem, Baloscha was where I got to today. I got to finally, after starting operations, I finally got to all the shirim and Baloscha. So Baloscha is all about the mitzvah of Lachas Nevis and the menorah. Dalit Parmim menorah, base Parmim Chasa, the base Parmim Male. Yeah, 2 times in the Parshas Baloscha it begins with a full way of spelling out the word menorah in Hebrew, and the second one is Chasa, is lacking. There's two full and 2 missing. Nirili Eliyahu menorah remuza la Torah asher ba'Hashem dalet chalachim, because there's 4 kinds of giluim of Torah: pshat, remez, drosh, sod. Bnei Yissacher, this is sefer Bnei Yissacher. Ma'ameh Chodshei Kislev Tevis, and Pardes we know is connected to the 4 worlds: Atzilus, Bria, Yisira, Asir. Yeah, Abia is the Rosh Tevis. Pardes and Abia. Haim Darash. Sod. Sod is neged Bria Atzilus. Atzilus is neged Drosod, and Bria is neged Drosh. L'shem Eina Chazida Ala Klipas. The whole point is when you go into the higher worlds and the higher parts of the Torah, there's no foothold from the other side. That's why it's so important to learn Chassidus and Pnimis Torah, because the other side has no shlita there. Because what are you going to say when you're learning over Kabbalah? What does Kabbalah mean? It's straight from Hashem. It's the Pnimis, it's secrets, it's the oneness, it's the yichud, it's unification. In those higher worlds and those higher parts of Torah, there's no other side. Where's the other side? In the mundane, down here. Yeah.
That's where we can find the.
That's where we have to find and bring Hashem to this world. That's what we just learned in Chabad. But now we're learning Bnei Yissacher. He's talking about. It's good to know that there's these higher worlds and higher parts of Torah which are protected from all these lower level forces. The chisonim, the external forces, because it's panemius, it's inner.
That's really beautiful.
I'm also based upon menorah.
It's a deep thought.
Pshat remez neged asiyah yitzir. L'shem yesh achiza down there in the lower worlds and pshat and hints. When you're learning pshat of Torah, the simple level of Torah, unfortunately the other side does have some power over there. There's machlokes, you don't always know how to apply it.
I think the concept is when you're not going deep into Kabbalah, into the mamash, like Hashem.
Chassidus, yeah.
Those other ways of learning can attach themselves to machlokes.
Yeah, to other forces.
There's other sides that can
That's why you see Rav Shlomo in Shir David is always pushing so much Pnimis Torah, because it's the key to unify us all and give us that nachoma, that comfort, and connect us in. We need to learn halach as well. We mentioned it today. We have to learn pshat level. We have to learn. We're learning Gemara, Bez Hashem.
We're not necessarily have to learn every day halakha.
We're learning halakha. We just did learn halakha. It needs everything. We need all 4 levels. We just have to be aware.
Kabbalah doesn't have another side. There's nothing that can gravitate to.
And that elevates us. I am Megali Amukos. He says a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You noticed that with me. That's true. I can't help myself. Rosh Haneh, I'm sorry, Remez La'osyud, Shem Guf Menorah Vav, Gam Konim. So he said he's also connected to all these beautiful, deep ideas of Osius. I don't know if we have time now to go into this. But the Nes of the Menorah B'Chodesh Tevis. So one of the good news is that the menorah goes into the Chodesh of Tevis. So that's a very important thing. That it goes when you say the Lchaim b'Tevis lahadlik gematria ayin base samach gimel mem hey, you're going into all these alamas. Hadleika lezichron a menorah asher nase besoris a mispah Hashem mispah ben hine shamud that. So wow. So he says it's all connected to the shemus that connects to these four worlds. There's a very deep concept when you just light in the menorah, you're lighting up all these worlds and all the different parts of Torah. It's unbelievable how deep when you're looking at this. I can't really explain it right now. I don't have the time to explain all the parts. But the point is that the Rebbe and Bnei Yissacher is opening up. The menorah lights up all the worlds, all the different parts of Torah, and it gives us ability to go to, say, a Chodesh like Tevis, which is a cold month. And we have the fast of Tevis, a difficult month. January is hopefully there's going to be lots of rain then. It's a challenging time, but comes the mitzvah of menorah and Chanukah and lights up the first 2 days, sometimes even the third day. And Zos Chanukah, we get the climax of Chanukah into the beginning of Tevis. Hashem's giving us that nechama, that comfort, that we can light up everything. The darkest time of the year, the darkest time of history. The Hashem, and we should have in mind again, all the soldiers, they should be healthy and should be well. Hashem should protect them. The mitzvah and the schus of the lighting up the world with the light of Chanukah and the halakas of Chanukah and the panemius of Chassidus. We should be able to light up the souls of all the soldiers. They should have chizuk and love. And they should. The
highest, deepest Chanukah for the
Chayalim, the soldiers. Amen. Yeah. And coming back home, getting the chizuk they need beforehand, like my son, Bracha ben MASHA and Avram Asher ben Sarah, and Bez Amen. And Bez Hashem, we should all be zochim as Hashem to dance this Chanukah with the dreidel and with the Beis Hamikdash and Mashiach Sekenu and all of Am Yisrael. Tshuva b'hava b'simcha b'mhei b'menu Amen.
Amen.
The Dira Tachtona.